Hey guys, hope you're doing well. So in today's video I want to talk about what's the best plugin bundle that you should buy if you've currently got Logic and maybe you don't have any other plugins yet. You might be looking online, there's lots of different options. There's Waves have a really good plugin suite that provides you heaps of mixing plugins and different options. FabFilter's got a really popular EQ that you might have seen people using. Valhalla have a good reverb and delay. And then there's of course the Soundtoys bundle, which gives you heaps of sort of creative mixing options. So obviously what you should use depends on what you're looking for, and they all have their different uses. But in my opinion, I reckon Soundtoys is a really exciting sort of bundle to buy first, and it is the first thing that I bought when I was newer to Logic. And it gives you heaps of creative mixing options that you don't have straight away from Logic. So I'm just going to give you a walkthrough of some of the awesome things you can do with Soundtoys. A Little Alterboy is great for vocals to pitch shift them, get that formant shifted sound like you hear Frank Ocean using and Brockhampton, like that formant shift, a pitched down kind of sound. So I'm going to give you a quick demo. I might switch to this track first to show you Crystallizer, which is a really cool plugin. That is based off an old unit called the Eventide H3000 from the mid-80s. And so this is a granular echo synthesizer, as it says, like multi-octave crystals. So I'll show you this, I'll show you before, and then I'll turn it on. So it's pretty cool stuff. You can get some really nice effects with this, and there are so many options. I really like the concept of using some of these reverse sort of presets to get cool reversed effects. So let's try this one out. Yeah, that sounds really cool. So Crystallizer is the first one of their plugins. So the next plugin is Decapitator. I'm actually going to show this to you on the drums. I just turned it off for a second. But I use Decapitator basically like on the drum bus of every song I make. So it's something you can use to give things a bit of distortion, a bit of drive. It's something that everyone uses. So the drive knob is going to control how much distortion is going on. Thump will mean that if you have a low cut at a particular frequency, and I can click the name so I can see what frequency I'm dealing with, as in click on low cut, Thump is going to put a boost at this particular frequency. So at 80 Hertz, there's going to be a boost of about 3 to 5 decibels. And with my high cut, this steep switch is going to change the slope of the filter. So if I have it off, the slope's going to be about 6 decibels per octave. And if I have it on, so it's steep, it'll be about 30 decibels per octave, which is obviously very drastic. And then this tone knob in the middle just changes the overall darkness or brightness of the sound, which I often like adjust that. It's just really good to, if I have like a bit of a different sound in my head, I can just sort of nudge this towards one direction and see what that sounds like. And then these styles are all sort of emulations of different hardware, and they all have a certain different sound of distortion. So I'll show you what Decapitator's doing. So it really sounds awesome on drums, and if you want, you can also hit this punish button, which will boost the signal going in by 20 decibels, and then you can get some really intense sounds going. Sometimes it can be nice to hit punish and then just mix it in sort of really soft along with the other signal. And the next plugin is called Devillock, which is also a distortion kind of plugin. So this is based on the old Shure Levellock compressor, which was built for a podium mic, and it really crushes the signal. Actually, let's open Devillock Deluxe, which gives you a few more options. A lot of these plugins come in two sizes, like there's, for example, we haven't gotten to it yet, but there's Echoboy and Echoboy Junior. So just be aware that when you're looking through the list, if you do end up purchasing Soundtoys, that there's a lot of sort of smaller and bigger versions of the same plugin. So we've got crush, crunch, darkness, and mix. It's all pretty self-explanatory, and then this is the release, so we can go fast release, slow release. The darkness just sort of puts on a low pass kind of filter, and it's really handy having a mix knob so we can sort of blend in a pretty wild signal with the original. So let's have a hear of what this sounds like. Pretty awesome stuff. So the next plugin is called Echoboy, and I've actually already got that loaded on this guitar track. So this Echoboy is a big part of like the role of this guitar in the track. So I'll show you the delay. So I've actually got two Echoboys loaded up here. The first one is doing this 8th note delay, and the second one is using a preset called inverse swing 16ths. So sometimes by stacking two delays together, you can get a really interesting sound, because one delay is like using the signal from the first delay, so then you're getting delays of the delays. So it can be kind of cool if the first delay is a longer one, like half a bar or something, and then the second delay is like 16th notes. That way you're getting like these delays of delays. So yeah, Echoboy is really great, really widely used by lots of people. You've got heaps of control over the groove. With this rhythmic value, I just find it like so quick to use. It's definitely my favorite delay plugin. With the groove, you can really easily adjust to add swing or shuffle, the feel, rushing or dragging. Like all this stuff matters so much to the feel of what you're creating, and I find that Echoboy is a really good way to have total control over like the timing of the delay. So the next plugin of the bundle is called Filter Freak, and this is also really cool to play around with. I've been using it sort of when I want a bit more of an obvious kind of effect on something, or maybe if I want like a bridge or some other section of the song and I want the overall sound to really change. These sort of filters and the presets that it comes with can be really interesting and fun to use. So we go to effects. Oh, we could even try radio cutout. Sounds cool. So there's definitely loads of fun to be had there. The next plugin is called Little Plate. So this one is a really cool reverb plugin. I'm just skipping those other two because they have bigger versions, but this one only comes in the little version. So this is just a stock standard kind of plate reverb, but it sounds really good. I use it a fair bit on vocals, just sort of with a low mix. I often use the low cut a bit to make sure there's no mud. And it can be good with like a long decay time. I'll just give you a before and after. So the next plugin is called Microshift, which helps get things sounding really wide. So this can be great so that you can ensure that each part of your track, each instrument has its own space to sit in the mix. So here I've got this main synth going down the middle. And I knew I wanted another synth to come in, probably not for the whole song, but at some point, and that I wanted it sort of to be wide and through either side of the stereo field, but not in the middle. So this is another really useful plugin, and compared to other things I've used for widening a track, I really like having this control of the focus of the frequency, and also being able to pick whether it's detuning, like controlling the amount of detuning between the left and right channels, and the amount of delay is really cool. So out of the bundle, those are the plugins I use the most. Panman is a really good auto pan. So this can help you just pan a track from left to right really easily. You can change this into the middle and then just make it nice and smooth so that it's constantly sort of panning from one side to the next. Phase Mistress is self-explanatory and sounds really great. Primal Tap gives you some pretty wild delay effects. And is something really cool to play around with. Radiator is another distortion saturation kind of plugin. CQ is a really great EQ. This is awesome for adding high end to vocals. So as I've alluded to, Little Alterboy allows you to pitch shift vocals, and is one of the reasons that I originally bought the Soundtoys bundle. It's a really popular sound in modern production at the moment, and I don't know, personally it just has a real sort of emotional impact hearing pitched down or pitched up vocals. So I've got this sample here that I just found. This wasn't in the track that I made a few weeks ago originally, and it's not even at the right tempo, but it kind of works with it, and it'll be good to demonstrate Little Alterboy. So this is the vocal without Little Alterboy. She says she's scared of falling. Cool, so as I mentioned, it works pretty roughly with the track, but that's besides the point. So Little Alterboy enables us to change the pitch and or the format of the vocal, and then you can blend that in with the original signal. So here's just that whole vocal format shifted down. And Quantize also gives it like a really cool auto-tuned sound. So this is an awesome sounding plugin, and it's also good if you can't really sing like me. I'm finding it good if I want to mock something up to send to a singer and I don't like the sound of my voice. I can just change it with Little Alterboy, or even use the robot to sort of tune it. This allows you to pick like what pitch using this, and then you can automate. I can automate the pitch if it's an easy melody. Obviously that gets a bit nitty gritty though to do, but it's a really useful and popular plugin at the moment. And on top of that, there's the EffectRack, which lets you combine all these different plugins, and there's some really awesome presets on there. So I watched a video of Malay, who produces most of Frank Ocean's stuff, and he said his favorites were Sound Design, these two, Boards of Vermont and Cave of Wonders. So they're pretty cool sounding, and there's just heaps of stuff going on here. She says she's scared of falling, but
She says she's scared of falling, but she says she's scared of falling, but
So that's an overview look at the Soundtoys bundle, and there's heaps of stuff and sounds you can get with it for sort of modern production sounds, things that were getting your song sounding a bit more human and a bit more organic and real, rather than just like stale MIDI. So that's why I reckon if you're doing the kind of production that I'm doing, sort of electronic in the box production, Soundtoys is a really good first purchase that will get you some different sounds, some different options, and just lots of new go-to plugins that you'll use on every mix. Because a lot of the other plugins in Logic are really great. As I was saying, the compressor's awesome, the EQ's great, you've got these vintage EQs which are really nice as well. So I don't think the Waves bundle is as necessary, unless you're working purely as a mixer. But if you're working as a producer as well, I think Soundtoys just really opens a lot of doors. So I hope that if you get it, it gives you heaps of new options. So let me know if you've got Soundtoys already, what you think of it, or if you've got any plugins that you find invaluable. I'd love to hear sort of what you guys have as go-tos that you use on every track. And if you do get Soundtoys, have some fun with it and enjoy.
Another day I'm seeing daylight. No sleep, I gotta break night. Sometimes I go and break mics.